We are just days away from March Madness, but before that, we have the conference championship tournament weeks, and some of them are going to wrap up within this week, but the majority of them are next week, and I kind of want to just go down and predict all 32 conference tournament champion winners. Obviously, if you win your conference tournament, you get that automatic bid to the tournament, and obviously there's several at-large teams, but for a lot of the smaller conferences, it pretty much comes down to you have to win your tournament. So there's some of the smaller scale tournament teams that I have, conference teams that I haven't looked at that closely, but we will take a look at it still, and we're going to be doing it through just looking at kind of FanDuel and looking at the odds and all that. So if we're going right here to the American Athletic Conference, Florida Atlantic has been a team that's been decent throughout this year, but I'm gonna guess Memphis takes this one. They're gonna be going in as, I believe, the 2 seed. So we're gonna go with Memphis in the American Conference. Going down to the ACC. Now this is tough, but I have North Carolina winning this. I think that they're gonna probably finish at a 1 seed when it all shakes up and when it's all said and done through them winning this. Duke is good, but I think North Carolina is a better overall team, and I think they're going to take the conference tournament in the ACC. If we go to the American East, this is an Vermont would be the clear and obvious pick here, but I do like UMass. No, we're gonna go with Vermont to win this. They've had the strongest year by far. We'll have Vermont winning the American East Conference. Going on to the Atlantic Sun Conference. And here, I like Austin Perry. Here. Have been to the tournament before, and I haven't really watched a lot of their games, but I did see a few of them to the point where I think that they should be able to win this conference. Then if we're going to the Big East Conference, this is interesting here because the clear pick is Connecticut, but yeah, I'm going to say Connecticut, but watch Marquette, watch St. John's on maybe some sort of run because remember, they're kind of going to be fighting. I think Connecticut's really good. I think they're pretty much a shoo-in to be a 1 seed, but we'll see. We'll see how they fare in this tournament. So yeah, I gotta pick UConn for that conference. The Big Sky Conference. This, in my opinion, is Montana. Eastern Washington's been the best team, but I think Montana takes the Big Sky Conference. Let's go to the Big South. And here, this is tough, but I am going to say I think Winthrop gets it done. They're going to be kind of at a disadvantage seeding-wise, but I like Winthrop to upset High Point in the Big South Conference. Going to the Coastal Athletic Association, and Charleston is my clear pick here. Charleston has been, if you're looking at the numbers on this conference, the only consistent team has been Charleston. So I'm going to be going with them here. The Horizon League. And Oakland has had the best year. They're going to be the 1 seed going into this. I'm going to go with Oakland. I was going to say Youngstown State, but I see a path where Oakland takes this. So we'll go with Oakland in the Horizon League. Missouri Valley Conference here. For me, it's Indiana State. Indiana State has been a really consistent team, good. They're going to be slotted to be actually a pretty decent seed in the tournament for a team that's in a conference like this. But Indiana State's been pretty decent this year. I'll take them to win the Missouri Valley Conference. The Northeast Conference tournament, and I'm going to be going with Merrimack here. They've just been the most consistent. I don't know why Wagner's so high up there. They've had a really bad year. Central Connecticut could give them a run. The odds, if you're looking at it, are pretty much identical here, but I think Merrimack gets into the tournament. Then if we're going to the Ohio Valley Conference, I've never understood why they've called it the Ohio Valley Conference when you don't have a single team from Ohio in the. It just, that was weird to me. But if we're looking at this here, it's probably, there's part of me that could say UT Martin, because I've watched a couple of their games this year. They've been decent, but I think Morehead State is just the clear pick. Analytically, they're better. Record-wise, they're better too. So I think you got to go with Morehead State on the Ohio Valley Conference. Going to the Patriot League, and this is an obvious Colgate for me. Colgate has, in terms of this conference, it's not close. Win-wise, they've won a lot of games. Colgate will win the Patriot League. That's the surest thing I have for here, also, but you can tell through the odds, it's not very good. So Colgate will win the Patriot League. Then we go to the Southern Conference Tournament. And if we're looking at this, I would say that I do like UNC Greensboro. We're going to go with Furman. Yeah, Furman's a team that, they can make a run at this time. We'll go with Furman to win the Southern Conference Tournament. And then if we go to the Summit League, I like South Dakota State. South Dakota State has been the most consistent out of any of these teams. They have the best odds. We're going to go with South Dakota State. For the Sun Belt Conference, I like James Madison here. I like James Madison to win this. Appalachian State can give them a run, but that's probably going to be the championship game. But I'm going to give it to James Madison. Then we go to the West Coast Conference, and I think St. Mary's gets the big upset because Gonzaga, they've been playing a lot better. They've pretty much willed themselves into the tournament, but at the same time, I just don't know. So that's why I'm going to go at this point with St. Mary's to have a bit of an upset in that conference. The three other big conferences that I wanted to go over were obviously the Big Ten. And the Big Ten, I think it's a race between Illinois and Purdue, but I'm going to go with the Boilermakers to win back-to-back. Just looking at the road, it's going to be really, really easy, I think. Big Ten is a lot weaker this year, and that's just a team that you don't want to play in the Big Ten Conference Tournament. So I'm going to go Purdue in the Big Ten. SEC's really tough for me. I think you have two teams that, well, there's 3 or 4 teams that can be really competitive in it, but I think that the two biggest teams with the biggest chances are Kentucky and obviously Tennessee. I think Tennessee gets it done. And obviously, if Tennessee does get it done, then they're going to be a 1 seed pretty much automatically in the tournament, most likely. Considering on what North Carolina does, it's going to be tough between those two. But I think Tennessee gets it done. But, it could be Kentucky. Watch out for Kentucky. That's a team that's just, they've hung 100 points in several games. They just play no defense. But Tennessee, I think, wins the SEC. And then Pac-12, I'll give to Washington State. I think Washington State can pull that one out. Then next up, we're going to go to the Big 12. And Baylor's a team that really could compete. But I have Houston winning this. Houston's a team, just for me, that I think is the number 1 team going into the tournament. They've been really consistent, really good this year. Only 3 losses on the season. They're going to win the Big 12, taking away from Kansas, who usually wins it every year. But Houston has come in and taken that title from them, and that's why I think they're going to win the Big 12. They're going to be really tough out in the tournament. I will talk about that in later weeks. And then finally, last but not least, we're going to go to the Mid-American Conference, the MAC, and I think it's going to be Toledo. I think Toledo's going to win the MAC. They've had a really impressive year, and I think that they're going to do that. And that's going to wrap it up for now. I'm excited for the tournament to start, and that'll do it.